Merrill Lynch is going to all their clients saying, fill this out, I think the Bank of America has embraced Bitcoin. And the combination of those three things are going to play out against the new reality, which is Bitcoin is the only digital commodity. It is the only crypto asset. There is no second best crypto asset.
Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk Crypto. Bitcoin has been off to a strong start in 2023, as it has surged in price by more than 42% since New Year's Eve. At the time of writing, Bitcoin is trading for $23,695.20, up 2.89% in the past 24 hours. As a result, the sentiment in the market right now is of greed, as indicated by the Fear and Greed Index at 55, up from the 28 of last month where it was showing fear. As a guest speaker at Pacific Bitcoin advocate Michael Saylor shared his mental framework on how the industry will move forward from here, and the development of Bitcoin as a global store of value. Saylor explains regulators will play an important role in this matter, as most of the crypto ecosystem will be wiped out, and only the strong legit players will be left standing. As the industry gets cleaned up, new mainstream investors will enter the space. Saylor says that as normal banks start adopting Bitcoin, they will replace the offshore crypto banks, and he believes there will be three main drivers for the global adoption of Bitcoin as a store of value. The last one, although somewhat obvious, will probably surprise you. Let's listen to Michael Saylor as he goes deep into what will drive Bitcoin to rise as the one and only digital commodity and crypto asset in the next 4 to 8 years. But before we do, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we bring you daily content on the latest crypto news. And now, let's jump right into the video.
Regulators are going to have to move. They're going to move much faster. And as they move much faster, they're going to lay down expectations of the registration process to become a digital security, a digital currency, a digital exchange, especially those three. Those are going to be hot buttons. And as that happens, what you're going to see is that 98% of the stuff in the crypto ecosystem is going to shake out. There's going to be a few strong players that will go through the registration process, and they will grow up to be a registered, fully disclosed currency, like a Circle or a Tether will have to become registered and regulated. There may be a few digital securities. There'll be a massive fight over what that means and what you can do with it. The digital exchanges, both the crypto exchanges and the DeFi exchanges, will have to register, and this entire Wild West environment will start to dissipate. It'll be like the meteorite that hit the Earth, 80 million years ago, and a lot of stuff will get wiped out. A few things will rise out of the crypto ecosystem that'll be cleaned up. And then a lot more mainstream actors will enter this space. Mainstream investors, mainstream banks, mainstream financial providers, registered companies, and the entire industry will take on a new character. And now, let's talk about the moving forward. Well, if you look at Bitcoin right now, it's going to be driven by institutional adoption as an asset, and it's also going to be driven by technology utility, and it's also going to be driven by macroeconomic winds. So when you look at the next 4 to 8 years, the institutional adoption is driven by the utterances of the chair of the CFTC, the SEC, by FASB accounting, the fair value accounting adoption, by the adoption by the FDIC. If you look at BNY Mellon, if you look at BlackRock, if you look at Fidelity, if you look at, let's take Bank of America, pretty big bank. The joke I used to tell is when I decided to buy Bitcoin in 2020, I told my broker at Merrill Lynch, which is a division of Bank of America, I said, I think I want to buy Bitcoin. Can you sell it to me? And he said, I can't even talk about it. I get fired. I said, okay, you sure? He said, we don't cover it. I can't talk about it. We're afraid of it. I said, okay, well, I want to wire $175 million somewhere else. So I wired the money, and I bought the Bitcoin. 2 years go by, and just last week, my secretary calls me. She says, hey, Merrill Lynch sent a bunch of documents over, and they want you to sign them. And I said, what? I didn't ask for anything. She said, well, you have to sign these documents so that you can buy Bitcoin with Bank of America, and they want you to sign them now. I said, okay. So now, they wouldn't sell it to me, and now they're jamming it down my throat. So that's like a leak for you guys. Like, presumably, if Merrill Lynch is going to all their clients saying, fill this out, I think the Bank of America has embraced Bitcoin. Big deal. So for store of value, when these big, the offshore banks, right? Celsius is a bank, BlockFi is a bank, FTX is a bank, Voyager is a bank. They're not going to cross the chasm and continue with us in the next decade. They're going to be replaced with JP Morgan and Bank of America and BNY Mellon and Fidelity. And that's going to go a long way toward institutional adoption and driving Bitcoin as a store of value.
Saylor points out that Bitcoin will be driven not only by the institutional adoption as an asset, but also by technology utility and macroeconomic conditions. From a technological standpoint, Saylor believes we will witness an explosion of the Lightning Network as the killer app. In regards to the macroeconomic conditions, well, let's just say politicians will play a big role and end up helping us out. Let's listen to what Saylor has to say about it.
I think the other thing is the explosion of Lightning. I described this as, in 1991, you had TCP/IP and we had the internet, but not many people used it. In 1994, you had the Netscape browser, and that was the killer app for the internet. And pretty soon you had 100 million people download that browser, and it caught fire. Well, we are like 1991, 92 in money over the internet, money over IP. And in my opinion, there's going to be a couple of killer apps. On the consumer side, a killer app that's like a Lightning wallet that moves digital dollars and BTC and swaps in and out of local currency. When you can move the peso, the dollar, and the BTC in the hands of anybody in Argentina, I don't know why every adult in Argentina wouldn't download that, right? And so that'll go to billions of people. So the killer app for Lightning is coming. My firm's working on an application to monetize any website so that you could basically say, hey, come fill out an application form to be a credit card customer or to be an insurance customer. And if you fill out that form and that survey, we'll give you a Lightning wallet and we'll fill it with 1 million Satoshis. And you just put that out on a tweet, you get 800,000 people to hit your website, 800,000 Lightning wallets spin up, and you click on it, it gives you a barcode, you scan it, and the Satoshis flow to any open Lightning wallet in the world. We're going to onboard hundreds of thousands and millions of people when those kind of applications get going. That's going to create massive demand for Bitcoin and massive enthusiasm for this and change the narrative. That'll be the second driver, right? And the third driver, and again, this is where the politicians are going to help us out, they're going to keep printing money, right? You think we're tightening momentarily in the US, but they're not going to tighten in the rest of the world. They're going to print money in every single country. All their currencies are going to continue to weaken. The Fed took us into a steep nosedive, nearly crashed the currency when they took the interest rates from 280 basis points to 180 to 5 basis points on the 1 year. And then they pulled up and they brought the interest rate from 12 basis points up to 470 basis points on a 1-year treasury in 12 months. And it's kind of like that strafing run in Maverick when the guy goes down in the valley, nearly crashes, and pulls up and pulls 10 Gs and just about rips the wings off the plane. And that's what we're doing, except we're doing it with the entire $500 trillion economy right now. And we've got to the point where the pilots are blacking out. We just saw it with Liz Truss in the UK, where they pulled up, the interest rate got a 5 handle. First they fired the Chancellor of the Exchequer, then they fired the Prime Minister. right? And that was a lesson to every other politician, and you can imagine Jerome Powell and the rest, they're looking, they're like, I don't think the economy of the world will take much more of the pulling up. They're going to have to take their hand off the stick, loosen up a bit, otherwise they're going to crash every single economy. And as they do it, we're going to see more inflation. That inflation is going to continually be a marketing driver. And the combination of those three things are going to play out against the new reality, which is Bitcoin is the only digital commodity. It is the only crypto asset. There is no second best crypto asset. And Bitcoin has got the integrity and security to last 100 years. So what I would say to everybody in the audience, and especially the class of 2022, we have given you a good entry point into Bitcoin. We have answered the question of technology by showing you that the world's greatest decentralized technology is Lightning on Bitcoin. And you could launch 10,000 companies and solve 100,000 use cases in an ethically, economically sound, technically sound way. And you should just look at the first decade of crypto experiment was everybody showing you cool stuff and doing it in a wrong way. And the next decade is let's do all the cool stuff in the right way, in a way that build it to last.
What are your thoughts on Saylor's perspective for the next 8 years in Bitcoin? Will we see the rise of Bitcoin from the rest of the crypto space? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give us a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. This is Let's Talk Crypto, and we'll see you in the next video.